What's going on, y'all? So today what we're going to be doing is breaking down a high ticket coach that I was able to scale from $0 all the way to above $100,000 within 90 days. And I'm going to be giving everything from the ads, the funnels, to the scripts, everything like that. So if you guys are wanting to know exactly how to scale your high ticket coaching business, this is the video for you. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. And just for your guys' proof, because I know there's probably going to be people in the comments being like, hey, you never actually did this. So as you can see here, we scheduled up to 426 calls, had 180 live calls. Show rate was a little bit low, but our offer rate was pretty decently high. Close rate was right about industry average, just about a percentage lower, but we had a lot of new people that were selling for the team. Cash collected was $80K with a total gross revenue of $158,200. Going over to the ad account, as you can see here, we did spend $20,000 during this time period in total ad spend. I do have a handful of different campaigns that we were running. Initially, what we were running was a DM campaign. So we were getting a lot of followers and then we were DMing those and then booking appointments. Once we had a proof of concept, just because it was like lower friction, then we decided to then end up moving to a funnel, which is where we were able to really turn up the budget. What we're really going to be going over, and this goes with any high ticket lead gen program, is there's really three key factors that's going to really dictate whether you're going to be successful or not. Funnel, ads, sales. Jumping into the funnel perspective. This is just, I have a couple examples that I'm going to be going over with you, but every funnel has really three key areas. And I think a lot of people have the thought that when you're creating a funnel needs to be extremely sophisticated and whatnot, but really there's three key aspects: the headline, subheadline, and CTA, which is your call to action. In the headline, and for this case right here is they were transform your body and get toned after 40, at the age of 40. For anybody that doesn't know, this is Warrior Babe. They're like one of the largest fitness companies in the high ticket space. But this is exactly who you're talking to or what is the desired state that they can expect. So in this situation, they're going after women in their 40s. And as you can see up here, trusted by over 21,000 women over 40 years old. It's kind of more of a sub headline. It's not necessarily right there where it says like transform your body, but this is where you're going to call out your ideal audience. Your subheadline, right, this little guy right here, is the mechanism that's going to get them to point A to point B. You can also utilize the subheadline to tell them whatever the video, if you have a VSL below that or a quiz form or something, it can be related to that. But typically it's the mechanism of how they're going to achieve X result. Because what you have to understand, especially like in the fitness space in particular, it's considered a very competitive space. So what you have to do is you need to start coming up with different mechanisms, because people have heard lose X amount of weight in X amount of days. Okay, well, they've heard that before, and now you've got things like liposuction, Ozempic, and all of those. So it's like, okay, what is going to be different between everything else that I've bought in the past and all these products that I've bought off e-commerce stores? What's going to be the difference? And in that case, it's going to be, it can be a mechanism that you come up with. So in this one, it goes with a metabolism repair system. That is the mechanism that you're using. And so that alone is able to differentiate yourself from every other company. In addition, they're going after 40-year-old women, so they're very particular with their audience. And then CT is exactly what you want them to do. In this case, they're going to a quiz funnel, which is going to like bring them into a quiz funnel, and then they'll get sent to a VSL. But it's whatever you want. Book an appointment, take this quiz, fill out the form, whatever the case may be. For these other funnels, one of the things that you also have to understand is there's kind of a multitude of funnels you can make. This one right here is like a low ticket funnel. We haven't ran one of these directly with the company that we have right now, but I have ran these in the past and they do very well because they're self-liquidating, basically saying that you can offset all your ad spend with like a low ticket product. As you can see here, they're getting all of this. This is their headline, sub-headline, and then this is, it doesn't say it on here, but it's $27 for them to get access to this. So what you can always do with these self-liquidating funnels is get people to purchase this low ticket item that's usually just a soft product, so it doesn't cost you anything. It liquidates the ad spend, so you don't have to pay for the ad spend because this is paying for all of it. And then you push these people, right? They've already spent $27, so they're already pretty warmed up. Then you push them to a VSL that tells them to do exactly what you want them to do. And the cool part is once you get people to buy this $27 product, not everybody's going to go and book an appointment, watch the video. But now you've got all of their information, their phone number, their email, first and last name. You got even their card information on file. So now what you can do is you can go in there, have appointment setters go and book these appointments. There's Cole Gordon, 33, I believe, % of their overall sales are coming from calling up people that opt in to whatever the opt-in form is, or if it's a low ticket funnel, whoever purchased that portion of the funnel, because there's a lot of people that just don't book. And so if you're a coach or a lead gen company and you're having issues meeting a certain gross revenue, the easiest way to take care of that is just go over the leads that are opting in. And if you're not opting in leads that are like watching a video or free training, you're really hurting yourself, because there's a lot of people that are going to watch the training and then not take action. And you want to make sure you get that information before they watch the video. And then this is RCA. They do a closing academy, but they've been pushing a quiz funnel. Quiz funnels do very well with a client that I was working with on this offer. The quiz funnel is what we did to utilize to see if they would qualify for a sales call, and we wouldn't frame it as a sales call. It was like a interview. So it allowed our closers to be in a very high status frame when they got on the call. When it comes to the ads, this is the one thing that a lot of people in the lead gen space can get wrong, but it's really a very simple process of understanding that there's 3 key aspects to any sort of ad. You have your hook, your description, and then your call to action at the end. When it comes to a hook, this is where you need to really hone in on who is your avatar. Who are you wanting? Who's the person that, if you had 1 million of these people in the room, you could sell 90% of them? If you ask yourself that question, it makes it very easy on exactly how you're going to target them. And there's 2 ways to necessarily target them. You can directly call them out or indirectly call them out. Example of a direct hook would be business owners who are making $50,000 to $80,000 a month. Moms who are trying to lose 20 pounds in 10 days. I know that's not possible, but that's an example of a direct hook. I'm calling out exactly the person, the avatar that I want to grab their attention. Then you have what's considered an indirect hook, is utilizing terminology, verbiage that resonates with that person without necessarily calling them out. A really good example of this is if I was running ads as like a marketing company and I wanted to target e-commerce business owners, I could take screenshots of the Shopify dashboard, of a Shopify dashboard that has over 7 figures, 8 figures on it. And then I could post that on an ad and be like, this account achieved a 3x ROAS. Shopify e-commerce businesses would recognize that Shopify screenshot and be like, oh man, this is an e-commerce store. And he was able to achieve this with a 3x ROAS. Next is going to be the description. So after you pull them in, and I'll show you an example here with Kohl's ad. But once you pull them in, you have to answer that question. It's like, hey, are you trying to get into the high ticket sales space? If so, this is what you have to do. Blase, 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 blase. Whatever the description to that hook that you just initiated at the very beginning needs to answer that. So that way people aren't feeling like they're left behind, but it's all kind of selling the next step, because what you want to do is you want to talk to them and, hey, this is how you get into sales utilizing this mechanism. And if you're interested in this mechanism, check out the next page for more information. That's where your CTA comes into play. You're basically selling that next step, which is going to be that quiz, that appointment booking, that video, whatever the case may be. That is what you're selling when it comes to the app. And this is like an example, for those that don't know, Kohl's really big in the high ticket coaching space, but this is an example of an ad, and I'll let it play through.
Want to break into high ticket sales so you can land a 6 or even multiple 6-figure income position, but you don't actually have the experience to break into the industry. Well, if so, we'll train and place you into a remote high ticket sales position within 90 days, or you pay nothing. So keep watching.
Basically, that was his hook at the very beginning, talking to people who want to break into high ticket sales. If you go look at all Kohl's ads, they all pretty much start the exact same way, because they found out that that hook alone has really worked well for them. And then they've shot it in multiple different areas. They've utilized different avatars, people, women, males, younger, older. They also change out this headline at the very top, like this, I'm colorblind, but I believe it's yellow text. In this case, they always will switch it out, so that way they can utilize the same ad, change out that hook, 3, 4, 5 times, and now they have 5 variations of that same ad. Other examples of this is ads like this. So we got some static image ads, but right here, this Warrior Babe one, nothing works anymore. Keto, intermittent fasting. So this would be an example of an indirect hook. They're not actually calling out women over the ages of 40. They're just saying nothing else works. Keto, this, that. Basically telling them all the pain points that they've experienced over however many years of everything that they might have tried. It's like, that's me. That's like a great ad, because they're talking to those specific pain points, but it's indirect. This one is a little bit more direct.
If you're balding, what if I told you could get your hair back in a single session with 0 down, and it's guaranteed for 10 years? Would you do it? Now, here's the thing.
And that's another one, but they're calling that's a more of a direct ad, but this is more for the medical industry. And then over here is a review-based ad / before and after, showing basically an example of what the results could potentially look like for yourself or for a client. Utilizing client testimonials are great, especially if you're going to start running retargeting campaigns, because a lot of people are not going to take action on that very first ad. Maybe they went to your page, watched a training, but they never actually booked an appointment. It's really great to run a retargeting campaign going after everybody over the last 30 days that have visited your website. Just have tons and tons and tons of testimonials. That's what we did, and that's how we were able to book probably about 30% of our overall appointments directly were actually from the retargeting ads. So if you're not running retargeting ads, it hurts, but the best thing to do is if you're going to run retargeting ads and you have no idea where to start, just run testimonials. Easiest way. Now, getting into the sales process. Sales, there are really 3 key areas that you really need to be paying attention to. This is very broad, but at the end of the day, big things that you can utilize as leverage pieces. A lot of people don't necessarily understand, like, what does my show rate have to be? And a show rate, for those that don't know, is like, hey, if somebody books on the appointment, how many of those people show up to their call? Depending on industry, because I've seen industries have very high show rates, some have very low show rates. It depends on the buyer. Obviously, the higher level the buyer, the better the show rate has been, the lower quality, especially if you're doing like a biz op opportunity. Are you trying to get into high ticket sales to make more money? People are going to want to do that because they obviously want to make more money. But you could potentially get much more low quality lead flow, which is going to result in lower show rates. Easiest way to fix that, because that was one of the issues that we have, and we've fixed it quite a bit already, because initially we were having a show rate of roughly 25%, which is god awful. And we've been able to now get it up to about 47-50%, but we've been averaging roughly about 60%. And we basically fixed that with an appointment setter. And if you haven't got one, basically appointment setter can, call all the leads that either have no show, have opted in, but never booked an appointment, and call and book those people. But what we did is we had our appointment setter call every single person that booked on the calendar within roughly about 60 seconds, call them up, start a conversation about for 5-10 minutes, triage them, congratulate them on getting an interview. All those things play a factor into the overall show rate. And that's made a drastic change, because obviously the more touch points you have with clientele, the better quality of people and higher the show rate is going to go up. Obviously, make sure you have your automations, your SMS, your email, have those flows going. Close rate, industry average for high ticket sales is roughly about 20%, is where you at least want to be. We were right on top of that. We about like 19% on ours. However, I know we were trying to get a handful of new closers in. So usually when you have a new closer, you obviously are going to have kind of like a bell curve shape between them learning, and then being able to meet and ramp up to KPIs. Typically call it a ramp period. My recommendation is just have weekly sales meetings, going over at least one call on those sales meetings a day, or you can simply just hire a sales manager and they can take care of that training for you. And then Ascension. Ascension is very, very key. So what we found, and it's helped us a lot, is we added in a kind of like a monthly training bonus once they completed the program, that they could keep maintaining the trainings and the software for $87 a month. So that way we can still keep people and increase that lifetime value of that client even thereafter. And you can also have, live events that you can sell. You can have further advanced skill sets. So let's say, for example, in regards to Cole Gordon, he's teaching people how to get into sales. Well, after somebody learns how to get into sales, the next thing is becoming a sales manager. So you can have an upsell program that is 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as your original program, and they've already spent $5,000-$10,000 on the product. The likelihood that they would buy the $20,000 product is much, much higher. So you can always have a product there at the end. Right now, we're only testing the low monthly training access, but that's what we've done thus far. If you're a high ticket coach and you're wanting to scale up, focusing on these 3 key aspects between your funnel, your ads, and your sales is the highest leverage pieces that you'll have. Obviously, posting content and everything consistently is great, but mainly focusing on these 3 avenues are going to be massive impact to your guys' business. If you guys are interested in wanting to know more on exactly how to set up these campaigns, how to set up these ads, or anything like this, and the bare bones, I've actually put together the Lead Gen Experts. There's a link directly below. Go ahead and click on that link and join in. We actually host calls every single week as well too. So definitely give that a whirl and check out the rest of my YouTube videos in order to learn more about these small little details. Catch you guys in the next video.